maintenance man here at Mr. Dog Poop Studios. Today I come in and Mr. Dog Poop hands me this. He wants me to plant some flowers in front of his office window. Why, is your mother coming or something? And what am I supposed to do with this? Go dig up flowers from the neighbor? Sure, he says. Are you kidding me? So I took his credit card and I'm gonna go to the store and buy some flowers. So we're just gonna tell Mr. Dog Poop that we dug these up out of Mrs. Jones' garden. We won't tell him that we spent over $100 at Lowe's. We got some perennials, and we got some perennials, whatever a perennial is. We got some Calla lilies. We got some Asiatic lilies. We got some Asiatic lilies. And if it doesn't work out, we got weed killer. And just for the hell of it, we bought Mr. Dog Poop a concrete turtle. Now we're heading back to the studio. So here we are back at the studio. Pulling in, I don't see Mr. Dog Poop around. I'm gonna get these flowers unloaded before he sees that I bought them and didn't dig them up. Oh, now I gotta get that stupid turtle. This is the one that's gonna piss that cheapskate off. $35 for a concrete turtle. That's enough work. Time to go get one of Mr. Dog Poop's beers. So Mr. Dog Poop bought this box, but it's not really a planter. It's got a lot of cracks and holes in it. So I have to do something about that. And I really want to get it up level with the window. So I'm thinking some concrete blocks. Since our box is about 1.5 blocks, I think if we cut one block in half this way, we're going to be good. We'll get a couple of these, put them together, and then we'll put the turtle in front of it. As usual, a project that Mr. Dog Poop thinks is going to be super simple is not. I need all these tools to put in a few flowers that I did not dig up from Mrs. Jones's garden. Sometimes these do-it-yourself projects can get really expensive. We spent $150 on the planter and the dirt and some stones, another $100 on flowers, $35 on a concrete turtle. Now we're gonna have to put some blocks. We're gonna need all these tools. And we have how many windows? And only one box? It's gonna cost us a couple $1,000s to put flowers in. Yeah. Mr. Dog Poop's never going for that. So hopefully he's happy with one. I need to make the ground level. We need to get all this junk out of here. So we have about 22 inches to the top of here, 12 inches here, so we need to go up 10. A block is 7.5. This is about 1.5, so we're pretty close. If we do one block, but we also have to be level. But 2 blocks, our planter is 12 inches. This is 16 inches. So we need only 4 inches. What we want to do is cut one of these blocks in half. So how do we cut a block in half? If you have a skill saw or a 4-inch grinder, you can cut a concrete block. What you need is a diamond blade. And these aren't expensive. I think they're under $10 for a diamond blade. It's a brand new diamond blade. And this is a pretty used diamond blade. And all it is a steel blade with diamond chips embedded in the outside surface. And those diamond chips will cut through concrete blocks. So let me go ahead and set up a blade on both of these so I can show you. And you can get a 4-inch grinder or a saw for $30 to $35. Blade for another $10. These smaller blades are a little bit cheaper. And then always change your blades when the pools are not plugged in. Take off your wood blade. Put on your, that's too big. But the blade comes with a spacer, so it fits different size saws. In this case, you'll need it for this saw. You put your spacer in, make sure that your blade is in your blade. That piece on, and then just put in the retaining screw. Okay, so now we have a blade that will cut the cinder block. So if you're cutting concrete dry, and you can cut it wet, but not with saws like this because you'll electrocute yourself, you're going to make a lot of dust. So get yourself at least a dust mask, if not a respirator. N95, N100 dust mask, and you will see why in a minute. I'm just going to freehand this right down through the center. Might want to make a line with chalk or something, but I'm going to get my beer out of the way for protection. So you can see that it cuts right through. I also told you can cut it with the grinder, so I'm going to go ahead and show you that with the small blade, we can do pretty much the same thing. This block has a recess in it, and the thing's not long enough. If I had cut it on this side, I could probably do it, but this side I'm not going to be able to. So let me take a small piece just to demonstrate that you can cut it with something like that. And you'll see you have a clean cut with that tool. Either way to do it. You can also use a chisel and a hammer and try to break it, but chances are it's not going to be a clean line. So, cut the other side. I think our box is 12. And that's about 12 to there. It'll come off a little bit off the front. We have this, which is going to get us up to the height we want and give us a smooth ledge, but it's too long. So we're going to need to cut 2 of those at about 12 inches. I'm what you call a pro at this, but if you're not a pro, I would definitely draw a line to cut it on. I'm just going to make a mark. And try to cut it on that line. Don't cut your cord. Don't get your cord in front of you. So there's one end, and we got a 4-inch piece for the other end. How long is our window? Our window is 48, and our box is 39. So, come in a few inches, 5 inches in, about 5 inches in from this end, and you can just use dirt to get it level. Another block. Okay, and another piece 12 inches long. I would definitely get a piece of chalk or a marker or something so you can see it. Put a line straight through there that you can cut on. I've just been working too hard doing all this stuff, and I am too lazy. And that's why I end up doing things 2 or 3 times. Whew, that was a lot of work. Let's get our box on there. It's a little bit low on this side, so what we're going to do is take some dirt out of this side, lower the ground there a little bit. Need to come about 4.5 inches in from each end, which is about here. Bring this over. You really want to pay attention on your measurements and get it in the right place so it doesn't look terrible once you fill it up with dirt and you can't move it. 4.5 there. Might have gone down a little much. You can put a level on it and go crazy and put dirt under it, get it right, but you know, it's only Mr. Dog Poop. So that'll hold that, and then we'll take that stone turtle, put them over here to kind of block some of this. Grass will grow underneath and we can trim it. It should be fine. So, this box is not really a planter, even though it's sold as a planter. If I put dirt in it, it's going to fall off out the edges. So my plan to make it usable is to use some old plastic that we had, some plastic sheets, and just cut them out. We don't want dirt coming out of the front. Looks like it's enough there. And then I'm going to put one on this side. Do the same thing up to the top. So I'm just going to put it in like this so that it keeps dirt from going through the front and back. These are tin snips. They cut heavy plastic and other materials pretty nicely. So I want to have a piece in there about that big. Nothing fancy. Just enough to keep the dirt from going out the sides. Same thing on this end. And we'll just cut it. And this just cuts like paper. So I'm gonna do with a pair of tin snips. So now we got some cheap plastic in it. Water will still run out, but it won't come out the front or the back. When you're planting plants, you want to use some stones at the bottom. I have some pea gravel. So I put some pea gravel on the bottom to give us a layer of stones to drain through, so the water can drain all the way through that layer and out the bottom. It's going to drain through anyway because this is not going to hold the dirt, but if you don't have stones, a lot of the dirt will come out and the water will drain out faster. This is a nice way to filter out the dirt from coming out. This is a miracle-gro. That's miracle-gro. Everything's a miracle around here with Mr. Dog Poop. So this is supposedly raised bed soil. It looks like it has a bunch of peat moss in it, mixed in with it, some wood chips, probably pine chips or something. And that'll keep the soil aerated as opposed to topsoil, which tends to get hard. Soil's probably better, but don't know how much we're gonna need. Now that Mr. Dog Poop has me sufficiently dirty, I gotta figure out how we're gonna order these flowers. Well, these appear to be the centerpiece. I'm gonna stick those right in the middle. We wanna go over there. Go carefully. And you can see this is obviously root bound. It needs a little more space. We want to get them, we don't want to really cover up the top, so we want to get this at the same level. So bring your dirt in and make sure that when you backfill it, you're right. The top of your box is going to be the same as the other one. Asiatic lily. These are Asiatic lilies. These come with some fancy pots. And you see the roots are growing out of those too. So this has a lot more depth. We're going to put this in. We're going to have to go a little bit lower. And I'm going to backfill it with the potting soil, which is the same thing, pretty much potted in now. Second one on the other side. That comes out. And you can see that these things are just completely root bound in the stores. I mean, they're in there too long and they're growing too big in the pots. Vining Mandevilla. So it has a little arbor in it. I don't know if that's actually the way it grows or they just put it in there to hold it up and make it look pretty. Again, just keeping your top dirt level. And there's a lot of space in between, and we're just going to fill that up with the potting soil. I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to give us what we need. The last thing to do, I don't really like this soil. I'm going to use this potting mix and go ahead and fill all of that space with this. You don't want to pack it in too firm, but pack it in enough. Don't go over the top of the old plants. Make sure that you keep all the dirt below where the original surface of the pot was. If you put dirt over the top, you can kill the plants. And make sure you fill in behind. As you can see in the front, make sure you fill in behind these. As that packs down a little bit and we put water on it, it rains, we're probably gonna have to add a little more soil in. I need to go get the hose it down, give it some water, get some of the dirt off the flowers. I need to get these pots out of here before Mr. Dog Poop sees them and realizes that I bought the flowers instead of digging them up out of my neighbor's yard. Final touch is the concrete turtle. There you go, turtle. All right, so we're going to finish it off by rinsing it off, watering it. You can't drown them because the water will drain through. So you want to make sure that all that soil in there is wet because you've just transplanted them. And you'll see here where you're already starting to, this soil's packing down from the rain. So you'll have to come back in here with a little more potting soil to fill that in as it packs down. So be prepared to do this a little more soil. You don't want to put the hose directly, nothing more than what they would experience in regular rainfall. Of course, in Tampa, it's pretty harsh. Once you get the plants watered down and yourself cleaned up, get yourself another beer and be proud of what you did. You know, if they belong to Mr. Dog Poop, they're gonna love beer.